Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Brothers Take podcast, the podcast where nerdy brothers get together each and every week to talk gaming primarily. And in this week's episode, we're going to be doing just that. My name is Chris. I'm joined once again by my brother Eric.
Hello.
And we are back in the room this week to talk about one of our most anticipated games for 2025, and that is Ghost of Yotei, which last week got its official state of play for July. I actually thought it was going to be further into July. I'm kind of happy that it came when it did.
Yeah, sure.
Because also I think we were like, what the fuck are we going to talk about this week? And then that came along. I was like, thank you. That's what we want. Ghost of Yotei. Let's get excited. So, we had a 20-minute deep dive into Ghost of Yotei. So we're going to be sharing our thoughts on what they showed, the kind of new features, what we can expect from this game and the adventures of Atsu, what makes it different from Ghost of Tsushima, which was one of our favorite games of 2020. Here we are 5 years later. Oh my god. Crazy talking about Ghost of Yotei. But we're also going to talk about, briefly, not as much, I mean, Ghost of Yotei is the main topic this week, but I'd also like to talk about the Naughty Dog's chronological mode for The Last of Us Part 2.
Right, yeah.
Because it's just interesting. And I'd like to talk about that briefly, because it really caught my eye as something that's so interesting.
I've seen a couple of videos of different people talking about it. And like people who have played like the first 3 hours of the game and what it has. And yes, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Some people say, and I think Naughty Dog also say it, if you've never played the game, don't play the game this way. Play it the original way, and then
right. And before you jump into it, it does say you should play the game first before you experience it this way. Do you know what I mean? But we'll be talking about that anyway, and we would love to hear your thoughts too. Everything will be timestamped, and maybe there'll be some other things along the way. But we'd love to hear from you guys. So if you're watching YouTube, make sure you jump down in the comments to share your thoughts and everything we'll bring up. If you enjoyed this episode, please do give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and ring the notification bell for future content. To those who listen to us on audio platforms, you can touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and X at The Brothers Take. Again, to give your take on Ghost of Yotei. How hyped are you? And your take on The Last of Us Part 2 chronological mode. How stoked are you on that? Do let us know. But without further ado, let's talk about it. So I think we'll start with the main topic, will we? Will we jump into Ghost of Yotei first?
Fair enough. Yeah. Not to bore the people.
Did this do anything for you?
Fuck yeah.
As I was like, straight away, I'm just like, did this do anything for you? You're just like, it's just more of the same. Because I know I'm going to see lots of people are going to go, I mean, it's just more of the same. Like, I didn't reinvent the wheel. And it's like, what do you want from a sequel to Ghost of Tsushima? Because what I want is more Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, honestly.
But there is new stuff here.
Yeah, so what I was looking at, I was going, this did exactly what a sequel is supposed to do. You do the first one, and then you give us more. So another example of this, which came out recently enough, was Death Stranding 2. If you're expecting a completely different experience to Death Stranding 1, you're shit out of luck. No, it's the same fucking experience, but it is more.
Yeah.
So it's better.
Expanding on the original idea.
Expanding on the originals. This is what this game did. I was looking at this going, this does just, it looks like Ghost of Tsushima. Like it does. Like it just looks and feels as like, it brought me right back at home. I was like, now I want to go to Yotei. Yes. First I wanted to go to Tsushima, now I want to go to Yotei. I might as well just go all across Japan at this point.
oh no, okay, fine. Well, I'll go to Japan.
We'll all go to Japan.
No. No. This happens when you play games, like same like, aren't you're going to Iceland this year, right?
I actually don't know, but Death Stranding, the first one,
has made you want to go to Iceland.
Well, just go to Scandinavia.
Oh yeah. So
we
play games. I was always the same as well with like like playing Final Fantasy X. Always made me want to go to like
the Caribbean or something, like
just like these Polynesian kind of islands and stuff. Right. Like Indonesia or Bali or places like this. You're just like, oh my god, look at that! I don't want to go there.
Or playing like Uncharted makes you go like, I want to go.
Yeah.
To the jungles of France.
Yeah, or no. To island nations and jungles. But so Ghost of Yotei, we already knew that the premise was that this is going to be a revenge thriller, in which case where you play as Atsu and you are hunting down the were they called the Yotei 6?
I thought it was maybe it's the Yotei 6. I thought it was the Yokai 6.
It could be. Maybe I picked them up wrong. But either way, the 6 bandits who are a gang of like criminals and murderers who murdered your family. And this is a revenge thriller, in which case you will be hunting them down to avenge your family.
It's the Yotei. It's the Yotei
the
6.
Yotei 6. So one thing, and I think I've said this before, one thing that I love about that is it does give it that kind of Kojima style, like Metal Gear Solid. Here's your bosses. Each one is a character, and you have to hunt down and fight each one. And I imagine each one is probably a boss fight.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sure.
that's already cool. I like that checklist thing. I really liked the bounty hunting in this.
That's a very cool
Yeah.
addition.
Yes.
Very much making Atsu. So like I suppose the ghost is a vigilante,
Mm.
and then she's the Onryo. Is that what they call her? The Onryo
Yes.
is the bounty hunter, I suppose.
Yeah.
The,
She's the wandering bounty hunter.
she's the Punisher, while the ghost is Spider-Man, but with
Nah,
blades.
it was Batman, right? We
Oh,
said
sorry,
that
it
when
was-
we played
yes,
it.
it was
We were like,
Batman.
it was a Batman origin story with
It was
Ghost of
Batman,
Tsushima. It was,
and then you have Punisher in this one.
yeah. Here we go. I really like. Do you like the premise?
I mean, okay, so like, yes, I would have liked to continue as Jin Sakai.
Yes, me too.
Yeah. But no, I think that the premise is very good. I wonder if you want to get a golf club in this, considering it's a revenge story.
Hey, we'll be talking about that.
But I do like it, and I like more so what they're presenting to us. I like from Ghost of Tsushima, that like story-wise was incredible. But also, it's the world and the story and the characters and the graphics and the
Yes.
exploring that's also just that thing. Like Skyrim, because we have to mention Skyrim.
Yes, take a shot if you're still playing the Skyrim drinking game.
Yeah, it's like the story's really good,
Yes,
but
but
also
it's the world.
it's the world that's like
Yeah.
really engrosses you. So I find that's the thing, and this looks like a very interesting world, especially with the bounty hunting
Yes,
and the fact you have bounty hunters after you.
yes,
And I think it's the Yotei 6 are the ones punting the bounty on you,
deadly.
which is interesting. And then yes, they're all bosses that are like, one is called Kitsune, one's called the Oni, so they all have their own titles. I
Yeah,
love
and their
the
own
Japanese
masks and characters and stuff. Yeah,
the Japanese lip syncing.
yeah.
That's a great feature.
It actually made me kind of think maybe I'll play this in Japanese. Like I actually had a moment. Now I don't know if I will, because there is that thing as well of like, you're playing at night and you're kind of tired, and sometimes it is nice to just be able to listen to the story being delivered to you. Obviously, if you're reading as well, given that I don't speak any Japanese, there's an extra level of concentration. But there was a part of me that's like, it would be a really cool way to play the story. And I think especially if you were playing it in that Akira Kurosawa mode, it'd be really
Class.
cool to play that in Japanese.
There's one thing about the Akira Kurosawa mode, which I kind of hope that they've fixed. That's an issue in Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
So when you play it in Japanese in the first one, it's not lip synced, so it's a bit jarring, right? But with the Kurosawa mode, when people attack you, there's the glints on their blade.
Yes.
And one is blue, one is red.
Yes, it's hard. You can't distinguish it.
You can't distinguish it's black and white. So I kind of hope that they still kept that color in.
Yeah, that would be
You
good.
can distinguish, especially considering you have the blue, the red, and now gold in this.
Yeah.
Where they can disarm you.
Yes.
But if you attack first, you disarm them by like cutting off their arms, which is class. So I hope they have that. Cause
What did you think of the? Because you're kind of alluding to the, they introduced the different weapons that you can switch between on the fly, as the new. So as opposed to switching stances, so Jin Sakai was like switching samurai stances basically, and you did so depending on who you fight. And this time around, it seems to be that you switch weapons, and that kind of is a new stance each time you're using a new weapon. And that's your method of like changing stances for different enemies and different fights. And you might have to do it on the fly with bosses who also change weapons. And that makes you kind of, paying attention during the combat and adapting on the fly. But what do you think of that new system?
that's a very cool, innovative way
Yeah.
to have all the different weapons. I think the only thing I'd be griped with it, but then it's a nitpicky thing, is some of the weapons spawning out of nowhere.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Right. But it's a small gripe thing.
Yes. It makes it feel less grounded, but also it's a video game. Yeah.
Also, it's a video game, and could you imagine if all those weapons were attached to her, how the fuck would she move?
Well, just again, it reminds me of Metal Gear Solid, except instead of holding down the R2 and L2 to switch between all the like, where is he
Thousands
carrying all
of
this stuff? You
yeah.
know what I mean? But this time you're just doing it on the fly. You know, you're doing it in
Yeah,
real
like,
time,
yeah,
which is
it's a
great.
really cool way of doing it because she definitely wouldn't have been a samurai, so she wouldn't have been trained the same way.
Hmm.
So she adapts. So she's much more adaptable
Yeah.
than Jin Sakai. So therefore, she's adapting to all these various weapons, like the big fucking Odachi ass katana and the Naginata. I think is the spear she's using. Maybe it's not. I could
Nice.
be wrong if she's not using that. But that's really cool as well. And having all the various ranged weapons and
Yeah.
different sort of tactics. So she's way more like yes, bounty hunter shinobi style. Like definitely a peasant who rose up to be a dirty fighter for sure.
Yes, and they say that they want you to fight dirty.
Hmm.
This is not about honor. This is just about cold-blooded revenge. Like Ghost of Tsushima was often wrestling with honor.
Hmm.
That was the big thing. Like he was wrestling between trying to save his people, going against the samurai code and actually struggling with the restrictions of the samurai code, um, and the identity of the ghost. Whereas this time around, I don't think she's going to have those kind of dilemmas. I'm sure there will be dilemmas, but it'll be very different. Maybe it will be that there'll be some wise person or someone from her past talking about the dangers of revenge and to be, that old parable about you should dig two graves when you go out when you set out for revenge, because like basically you're digging a grave for yourself too. But I wonder, will people be like trying to take her off this path, that it's a path of destruction, it cannot lead to good things. you know It'll be a different argument as opposed to the whole like trying to do right by my countrymen,
Hmm.
and be an honorable person by fighting dishonorably. But yeah, I can't wait. I was reminded a lot while watching it of Jedi Survivor. We
Really?
had the different stances in Jedi Survivor.
Oh yeah, with the
You
different
get and
weapons.
you can
Yeah.
switch between them, and you get to a point where people have a favorite stance based not only on the way he fights, but the weapon that he's using, whether it's
Hmm.
dual wielding or like the larger the
Cross guard
the
style one.
cross guard saber. Yeah. So I was reminded a little bit of that, and then also because of the bounty hunting, I was like, oh yeah,
Oh
you
yeah,
go
there's bounty
bounty
hunters.
hunting.
Yeah.
So I was kind of reminded a little bit of Jedi Survivor, but in positive ways, not in any kind
Yeah.
of negative way. Which I think is really, really cool. I'm like, if the first game reminded me of being, a vigilante like Batman, and if the second game is going to remind me of being sort of, a bounty hunter from Star Wars, hunting people down, but in
Hmm.
a Japanese feudal setting, like that's fucking cool. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to being. I think it's releasing at a good time. If it's releasing in October, we're in autumn at that point. There's going to be more color in the trees. It's going to be a colder time of year to stay in and play a game like that, a cozy game where, like at the moment, I'm finding it really hard to want to play any games. You know what I mean? Because
Yes,
it's too nice outside. It's the summer.
it's yeah. At the moment, for anyone who's not in Ireland, we are going through. We're probably going to have no water by the end of this. We are going through a summer heat wave, which is
One,
lovely.
yeah, but one unlike we ever get.
Yes,
Like
yeah,
it's
we don't get
very
this.
hot.
It's I like for the last couple of days you opened the door and I felt like I was in Spain or something like that with the
Yeah,
wet
it's
because
awesome.
the wind is even like it's not scorching wind, it is a
Mm,
cool breeze, but
yeah,
it's just
yeah,
a lovely cool breeze. But yeah, it's really tough to like sit down and play video
yeah,
games. Then saying that, I have gotten in a couple of hours of Death Stranding 2,
yeah.
and I actually got back into playing Claire Obscure
Ah, look it,
because you got to do it. And
because
so
it's so good.
again playing those games and then watching this state of play for Ghost of Yotei, I was like this is a very different year for gaming. There's not a lot of games coming out this year, but they're very special games.
Yeah, and they're strong. Like we already know. Like it might sound boring. I'd be shocked if Ghost of Yotei is not one of the Game of the Year contenders.
They can do five, can't they?
It's usually five, sometimes it's six. But I
Right.
think we'll all be shocked if Claire Obscure, Death Stranding 2, and Ghost of Yotei are not three of those.
This is the five, right? Because this so far the
Oh, you have them
consensus
already? You have the five?
the consensus for the first four before we saw Ghost of Yotei. So I think Ghost of Yotei will be on the list. We have
Mm-hmm.
obviously Claire Obscure, is what most people are saying. Death Stranding 2, Split Fiction,
Oh.
and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. They're the games so
Okay.
people weren't saying Ghost of Yotei at the time, but
Of
those were the
course.
other four that they were saying. But I think
Yeah.
Ghost of Yotei definitely on the list.
And there's still more to come. You know what I mean? Like there's could be hidden gems in other
Mm,
games. Like well, also like will Mario Kart World be up there, and will the new Donkey Kong Bonanza? You know what I mean? Like Nintendo games tend to do very well in the Game of the Year category.
true. Yeah,
You know
true.
what I mean? Like some of them get up there and you kind of go, huh? But okay, you know. Um, but then we can't say much because here's, two PlayStation exclusives possibly being in the
Yeah, yeah.
running for Game of the Year, you know. But yeah, I'll be really surprised if Ghost of Yotei is not up for that and a couple of other awards. Based on how strong the writing was in Ghost of Tsushima,
Mm,
I bet it will be up for. I'm not saying it's going to win any of these, by the way. I'm just saying
mm.
up for. I bet it will be up for best narrative, and I bet you it's going to have a fucking awesome. Like the premise is good, but I bet you the way it'll be told and the twists and turns that will happen. Like Jin's story starts pretty like good enough for a game, and then became like
Stellar.
unbelievable by the
Mm.
end of it. And I bet you I bet you this also will have a three-act structure and one in which Atsu will be put to the limits by the hunt for vengeance that she goes on.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know?
This. Fuck this. God, I was.
I can't
I was.
wait. I
I
can't
was.
wait to
I
be
was.
immersed in it.
I was nearly brought to tears. I was nearly brought to tears. I was
Oh,
like,
you're really about to.
this is beautiful. Like
This is
it
why I
just.
game.
This is why I game. Right?
Yeah.
Like I remember it was for Ghost of Tsushima. I think I was out of the three of us.
Mm.
The most excited and the most
100%.
intrigued
Yeah.
because it was the game I desperately wanted
Yeah.
and needed was this type of thing. So I decided I'm gonna pre-order this, get this special edition. I decided it was coming out around your birthday. I was like, I should
Yes.
get Chris that too.
Yeah.
Fuck, probably the best birthday present I ever gave you.
You know what?
Because
Probably, and that's actually no discredit to any other present you've got me, but it's fucking an amazing game.
it's an amazing game. So with this, I was just like, that looks. I was immediately just transported back to Ghost of Tsushima, looking at even the opening shot of the state of play, which was just the camera going through the canopy of trees and the grass and the illumination of the sun. And I was
Mm.
like, oh, there it is. That's beautiful. And then all the like the vast colors of trees, of the purples and pinks and everything. And I was like, look at that, just absolutely gorgeous use of colors.
Yeah.
And then all the new features, like the cartographer, buying the parts of maps, and then you have to
Yes.
align it up, and you can use the spyglass to spot things, and the
So
interrogation
cool.
of like interrogations of enemies, so you can find out new
And picking
information and
and
stuff.
choosing then what side quest that ends up opening for you. Like, and I even
Yes.
like the little quick shot of the little side quest that they showed where you're in the snow and then you're ambushed by like snow
Mm,
ninjas. I was like, I want to play that story. Like that's like
yeah.
the side quests as well in Ghost of Tsushima were so strong. They were some of the
Mm.
best, since Skyrim. Take a shot. So I'm looking forward. Like, obviously, it's the same team. Maybe with new people on as well, but largely the same team. So I'm really like interested in how they've developed new stories. Like, I mean, do you remember like some of the stuff you even just come across at Ghost of Tsushima, like going through a forest and suddenly just people hanging, and it leads you to a
Mm,
new quest, and it's that kind of shit of like discovering stuff in the world, not just a checklist. And they talked about it in it. Like, we don't want just a checklist of shit for you to do. We want
mm,
you to be immersed in this world. Follow the wind, follow the birds, notice something over there, go check it out. It leads to
yeah.
something. Rewards all the time. Great combat, great music, great acting. It's just like the full package. It's exactly what I want to play at that time of year. And at this point is my most anticipated game for the rest of the year by
Yeah.
miles.
That's fair. Yeah, yeah. And I think this was a good showcase. Obviously, if you're not a fan of the Ghost games,
Mm.
well, Ghost game, I suppose, and this probably would have been a really bad state of play. This would be the equivalent of if we sat down and watched a state of play that was 20 minutes of fucking, I don't know, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, something that you're just not necessarily into. Yeah.
Right, which other people would be, and they'd be like, that was the best showcase ever, obviously for me. But for me, this was so good. So
Yeah.
good.
Exactly what we would want.
Like, I mean, even the point, right? Again, just continuing with the amount of stuff that's new in this game. Um, the point when they showed again something that was from the original game, which is the standing off.
Mm.
You stand up for the jewel, and they're about to attack, and then you strike at them. But now sometimes you can get a wolf on your side, and the wolf attacks at the same time. And I was like,
Awesome.
"That's not good."
What did you think about the? Because me and you, in particular, I think are very big into because it reminds us of Mass Effect 2, and I think it's something that we liked in Ghost of Tsushima as well. Like we're big into the whole allies thing. Like
Right.
we're big into like if you have a Normandy, you can go around and talk to your allies. So what do you think of the fact that in this one you could set up the campfire and your allies can come to you and talk to you at the campfire and give you like new quests and new information and stuff like that?
Allies or randomers can come. I was like, that reminded me a little bit of like the Red Dead.
Oh,
No,
cool.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if in Red Dead that actually people. I think people can in Red
Mm.
Dead 2. If you set up camp in the middle of the night, people can come to sit with you. Other people can actually come to try rob you, and that kind of remind me of that. But then the fact that your own allies can come sit with you and tell you of new quests and stuff like that
Hmm.
is really cool. And like the fact that they refer to your allies as your wolf pack.
Yeah, yeah, it's
And you
kind of
see
cool.
you see them all, and then like they can see when they have notifications there is a new quest with them, so you can find out what that is and stuff. I thought that's a very cool title, and the artwork for that was really cool.
Yeah, it's a nice way as well of keeping track. Like I don't like a big checklist of things that doesn't look good to me. But I do like when things are streamlined enough where it's like, okay, it's very clear that there's a quest there, so it's clear that I have something to do, and I
Mm.
can just go to it and do it. I do wish this game was releasing mid-September though, because I don't want to wait till October.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
want to play it
yeah.
sooner. But I'm glad it's not coming out in the summer. I think it would be a bad time to play it.
It would be a bad time. No, no, they're smart to release it a little bit later. Yeah, I'm glad with that.
And it's
I think
also it's going to scratch the itch of the open world immersive game. Like we didn't get Grand Theft Auto 6 this year,
true.
so Ghost of Yotei is going to be our big open world. I know there's lots of open world games, but I'm talking about the ones that really immerse you in and capture you and are really
Careful now,
special.
because
You know?
again we have Death Stranding 2 and Kingdom Come Deliverance
Yeah, and I'm
2.
not
So
trying to
people
talk
might be
them
like,
down. I'm not trying to talk them down. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Just saying.
I mean, he's just saying that
I'm just
he
saying.
doesn't have his open world game. That's what he's
I'm
saying,
saying,
folks. That's what he's
I'm
saying, folks.
saying that out of those three games, and maybe I'm crazy, and feel free to tell me if I am, I think Ghost of Yotei will have the largest appeal out of those three,
Oh,
widespread appeal. Because
oh.
I still think like Death Stranding is so like innovative and cool, and Hideo Kojima is obviously one of the most loved game creators in the industry, but the style of gameplay Death Stranding is, as popular as the game is also still kind of niche. Like
It's quite niche, yeah.
it's not for everyone, and it's not one of those ones where it's like I recommend everyone to play this. Like you kind of have to be a certain kind of gamer.
Yeah.
Versus Ghost of Tsushima and Ghost of Yotei is looking very similar. I would recommend every like it's like, did you like Assassin's Creed even a little bit? And let's face it, we all did at some point, even a little bit.
Mm.
Then you will fucking love Ghost of Tsushima because it's the best Assassin's Creed game without Assassin's Creed on the cover. Like it is fucking
Yeah.
amazing, and this looks like it's gonna be just as good.
It's funny actually when I was playing Death Stranding 2 a couple of days ago, and I had because you have the music player,
Mm.
I actually had at one point raindrops keep falling on my head by
Oh,
BJ
lovely.
Thomas. I had that song on, and
Yeah.
Mom was just like, "How do you know this song? This doesn't suit this song. I thought you like shoot people." Like, no, I'm like a delivery guy. Are you delivering pizza? Well, I mean, I just did deliver pizza, but like, it's not what I always have to do.
Are they starting to realize games aren't all just about violence and killing things?
Well, no, see, maybe mom is, but dad for dad, it's just like, sure, all you're doing is like run from A to B. It's like, you know what? Actually, there's not a single game
Where I don't do that.
where I don't run from A to B. Even if
Well,
I put on like,
actually,
if
if
I
you
put on FIFA, I'm still running from A to B.
you are, but if you put on one of the Dark Pictures anthology games, you might not get to do any running whatsoever.
Well, that's true. And I suppose if I was actually playing like Forza, I'm
Yeah.
not doing any running. I'm driving from A to B. So there,
That's
just to
a
be,
technicality. That's a
yeah, we're being
technicality.
pedantic there.
But yeah, I'm wondering now, after seeing this deep dive state of play, I think we mentioned before as well that we do believe that there probably will be a follow up to Legends mode. I
I
was,
was waiting for that to
I was
be
kind of half
announced.
wondering if it was
Yeah,
going
yeah.
to be like the one more thing, but I think they're holding that. But I still think there will be one.
Mm.
If I was them, I would wait and launch it at Christmas again, though. So I'd
It
launch
does.
the main game with bunch of content now, loads to do. There's even those different modes you can play through and stuff.
Mm.
Like there's the one with the lo-fi beats for people who just want to chill. There's the one
Yeah.
from the creative 13 Assassins that brings it's way more violent and brings the action closer. I thought it looked really good.
Mm.
But if I was them, I definitely would do a Legends mode too. I think Legends was very popular,
Mm.
but I would release it at Christmas again and have
Yeah.
people play it. Like if we were playing it again over like the Christmas break, like it'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah, and it was a very good idea, especially when when they were like, and it's free. You know what
Yeah,
I
like
mean?
it
Like
was so awesome.
it's just, and that's the thing is with a lot of game creators is when they give us something as just like an update or whatever, or a new downloadable that's free or whatever,
Hmm.
you're actually like willing then to pay for the expansion. Now,
Yeah.
you usually are if you really like the game, but it's that extra thing where you just kind of like it's essentially that you love your fandom and you
Hmm.
love this game, and so it just lets the fandom go, yeah, I love it too, and also gets them back to play the game
Yeah,
as well.
100%. And that's good for everyone.
Hmm.
And like even using like the photo mode to be sharing the pics then over the holidays and stuff. I think it'd be good timing too. It's like everyone's playing it and talking about it in October, and then you get everyone back to talking about it in December.
Hmm.
Like I think that'd be really good timing.
I did notice actually with the in photo mode, at one point she was standing with a bear, which made me think to
Yeah,
myself, do you also
notice that
recruit
too.
a bear? Does like will a bear
Like
fight with you?
I don't know, but I did think the same thing. I'm wondering. I have a couple of questions that I wanted to go through. One of them was, are you happy enough now to just wait till the game comes out, or would you want to see more from this? Or like, are you kind of like, I kind of hope they don't show any more. I've seen enough, and we're already sold anyway. But or would
Yes,
you like to see any more?
I still wouldn't mind seeing a full gameplay section.
Yeah, okay, more
Like
than what
the
we saw.
yeah. You know the way in Ghost of Tsushima they did that point where he was going to the tower
Yeah,
and
and
he
it
fought
was
a
a
couple of
story
Mongols. It was a
mission.
story beat, and it was one of Masako's story beats.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And it ended
yeah.
with them about to this
I want
great
to replay
character.
Ghost of
Yeah,
Tsushima now.
I so do I. And it ended with they were about to do the duel.
Mm.
So you have
Yeah,
no idea what's going to happen next.
yes, you want something like that.
I want something like that because then we can see how does Atsu interact with the world? How do the enemies interact?
Hmm.
Like now we really get to see the flow of gameplay, the traversing, and then a story beat. How is it going to be directed? Now, again, if we don't get that, that's fine because I think this state of play did still a very good job of showcasing a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
Um.
like we're gonna get it whether they show anything more or not now.
Oh God, yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like
There
this
was
is
there was only
it's a
one
day one
thing.
purchase for me.
I think there was only one thing in this where I was like, oh, okay, are they
Okay.
gonna fix that? She jumps down on the three guys with her two swords.
Oh yes.
Boom, kills another guy. Kills another guy.
Oh yeah, the quick marking. That was a cool feature, by the way.
That's not what I was thinking about.
But still, it was a cool feature.
Quick marking. Was there quick marking in it?
Yeah,
Cool.
she did quick kills.
But that was in Tsushima as well.
I know, but it just looks so cool.
Okay.
I just love it. It's a cool
Yeah,
feature.
it is very good. They should have it on every game, whether it makes sense or not.
Yes.
No. She then takes out the flintlock rifle.
Oh yeah.
She shoots a guy to then
Yes.
fight the general. No blood, no nothing. It's just poof, and then your man was dead. And I was
Right.
like, oh, that's weird. I hope they fix that because
Yeah, because like that when the like even the first game, the more you fight, the more blood ended up on you. It made it kind of a visceral experience.
yeah.
I'm sure it will be plenty violent. I've no
Oh
doubt
yeah,
about
no,
it.
no, no. All the other points were really violent. Like
Yeah.
again, when they were showing off the guys about to disarm you, and you went and fucking cut their arms off and stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
just that one point where I was like, oh, she shot, and the guy. It kind of almost looked like in like those old Western movies when someone gets shot and they do that.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Yes.
there's
Yeah.
clearly no blood. It was like that. It's like bang, and then the guy just fell over and there was no blood. And I was like, that's okay. They'll hopefully they'll fix that. But like, nah, the fucking using the what's the name of the weapon? The fucking like the sickle blade and everything, and you bring the guy
Yes.
over and slice him into the
And like the
use of
commentary
weapons.
really helped as well. The way they were
Yes.
just setting up everything and talking about it's like, Atsu plays dirty, like
Mm.
by any means necessary. There's going to be a different, more visceral, violent nature to this. And I'm sure, and in that way, I think it will be in many ways compared to The Last of Us Part Two as the next big PlayStation Sony narrative-driven revenge thriller that is a sequel to a beloved,
Mm.
PlayStation exclusive game. Um, I'm just curious, will they pull it off to greater effect in this way? You know what I mean? Where it's a standalone experience and we're just following a brand new character that we're not
It-
already attached to, and therefore they can kind of do what they want with them because this is our first.
I think it will be. I think this one will be fine because yes, it's a brand new character, so we're just connected to her motivation. We're not
Yes,
connected to who died. And I would say with the way the story starts, the characters are already dead. Or we are going to see them die at the start and then it's going
definitely.
to fast forward and stuff. And you're like, that's okay. I think with the last was part two, there was the issue of you have this character that the players have been with for like 7 years, have really grown attached to. Like, fucking check shirts became a big thing now because of that game. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And then killing him off in like an hour, 2 hours into the game.
What
So
What did you think of the feature where you can, just speaking about the character's past here, you can switch back to flashbacks at the push of a button, and you can play as her as a child. Obviously, I imagine you can only do this in certain areas, and there'll be some kind of signifier to say you can do it. But what did you think of that as a feature?
beautiful.
Yeah, I loved it. I was like, that's a really cool idea.
Even the way it transitioned, I thought was really nice.
Yeah, and the fact that you
Just
can play through both seamlessly,
yeah,
that's nuts. Like,
that is it's pretty nuts. It's a good idea, but yeah, definitely only at certain points.
yes, yeah,
Um,
great use of
I,
the SSD, I think.
Yes, and then like yeah, you press. So again, her house is obviously one of the key locations. That's the one they used to advertise that feature.
Yeah.
I do wonder, could you play the whole section as just a child,
That's what
or
I'm
do
saying. I think you can.
nice, and then you can swap out
I
when
think
you
you'll have
feel like.
free roam in basically with it, whatever the parameters are of the spaces in which you can flashback. I think you can like flash back and forth as much as you like, but you can play through the whole thing. You probably do have to do resolve both in some way. Like you probably do have to resolve the flashback and resolve the present day. But
Hmm,
I'd say you do have a choice in how you do it.
nice, nice.
That's what it
Cool.
looks like to me. It looks great.
Yeah.
The one
Now, of
of
course, they still could have done it as just like you visually see it happening as you're like this.
Of course, yeah.
Either way is fine, but it's a good idea to yes use the SSD, use the PlayStation functions.
Yeah, yeah. We want to see some haptic feedback, baby. I had asked you, did you want to see any more? And you were talking about how you would like to see another gameplay section. The only other thing I would like, in the lead up, and again, if I don't get it, it's fine. I'm getting this game day one. Just no doubt about it. I think I would like a trailer though, like a boss's trailer, one that is very much focused on the Ote 6 and kind of goes through them almost like a Tarantino movie. Like,
That
you
would be
know, like
cool.
you see them and like it comes up on screen like who they are. A little I don't want to know like story twists. I don't want to know like when they die or in what order or anything, but literally like a highlight of this is each boss. I know there is a blog where you can look up their names and all, but I kind of want to see it in video format with
Mm.
like cool music in the background and basically here's who you're going to be taken down and going up against. It's like almost like a hype trailer of get ready to fucking take these guys on, you know? I think a boss's trailer would be cool.
Is there not a trailer called the Yotai 6 for Ghost of
Yeah,
Tsushima?
but it just introduced them all in like a straight row kind of thing. Like it wasn't
Yeah, it's
what
not
I'm
quite the what.
talking about.
Yeah,
Like, you
yeah.
know,
Fair.
where it really highlights each one. Like if you look at even the last Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta trailer thing where it went through all the bosses.
Hmm.
Or like sometimes you get a Final Fantasy 7 re whatever trailer and it's like this one is very clearly focused on the Turk, so we're going to go through each Turk and there's a big beat when it's like, oh fuck, there's that part, oh fuck, like they do a really good job of like giving you that moment where we're introducing the character in the trailer and we know it's time to pause on this moment because this is where the audience are going to like lose their mind before
Hmm.
we do some fast stuff with them, and then we're going to do it again because here's Vincent, you know. That kind of a thing where it's like it's edited in such a way where each character is a big deal,
Hmm.
you know. That's what I really that's the only other thing I think I want. Other than that, I just want to play it,
Yeah.
happy out.
God damn it.
Any
Can we
other
fast forward time?
thoughts on Ghost of Yotei or any other hopes or anything that you wanted to talk about before we crack on?
Uh, Probably is going to, but I really hope the music slaps.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds
Probably
good so
will,
far.
but yeah, I hope it slaps.
Mm.
I hope it gets slapped in the face. Like, I hope my nose breaks with how hard this music
Oh,
sounds. Because
oh, well,
listening to some of Claire Obscure's music again, I'm just like, this game, like, I
it's
know we're supposed to be talking about Ghost of
no, no,
Yotei
no. It's cool. It's cool.
because,
We might
but
as well talk
Claire,
about 2025's game of the year, like.
yeah, pretty much is going to be. It's a very special year for gaming. But like that game is like Lord of the Rings of video games, to be honest.
Oh, oh, oh. What does he
In
mean?
just that, like, how the fuck did this all come together
Yes, that
and
special
work?
thing. It's kind of like when you talk about like if when you look at the original Star Wars, or you look at the
Ah,
original Jaws,
mm,
certain movies where you hear about how difficult it was to make them, how low budget they had, all these different things, and now you just look at it as this absolute classic that changed cinema forever, and you just like every time you watch it, you go, how did they do this? Like, how did they pull this off? How did they make every scene iconic? How is it just cinema magic?
mm,
And like, no matter how old it gets, it will always be timeless. It's
mm,
just like a perfect movie, perfect cinema. And there is that with Claire Obscure, where it's like this game, I don't think will ever get old because it has an art style that makes it timeless.
mm,
Because it's not going for that photorealism, you'll never get to a point where you go, oh, well, the graphics now are way better and that now looks like shit. Do you
mm.
know what I mean? Because it's not quite photorealistic. Like there's like arty flowiness to it. And then the gameplay, because it's turn based, like turn based can only go so far. It doesn't get old. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, that's what it is like.
Yeah. So yeah, it's got to be a timeless game, I think.
Yeah, and actually, when now that you're and now jumping back to Ghost, the fact that you're talking about the artistic design of Claire Obscure, these two games I think are the same because when you look at the games, no, they're not photorealistic. Ghost of Tsushima, Ghost of Yotei.
No, they're stylized.
But they have a beautiful artistic stylization that makes them iconically unique. Like the minute you see that grass,
Yeah.
the way it's lit and the way it's textured and the way the
Yeah,
green
it's
and
so
everything,
good.
it's just like that's the Ghost. They're the Ghost games, and it just
Yeah.
looks beautiful, even though it's not quite photorealistic as some other games. But it's just still this beautiful, engrossing one. Like it's just like wow. Why is Ireland the Isle of Green? Like, look at all that greenery.
Well, guys, we want to hear from you. What did you think of the Ghost of Yotei State of Play? Are you as excited as we are? Is it one of your more anticipated games of the year? Are you getting it? What more do you want to see from it? Do you hope for more trailers? Do you hope for more gameplay sections like Eric was talking about? Any other hopes for the game in terms of other features, side quests, whatever it is, do let us know. We would love to hear from you. Make sure if you're watching YouTube, jump down in the comments or get in touch with social media, Facebook, Instagram, and X at The Brothers Take. But now to jump on to another PlayStation revenge thriller and another free update, given that you were talking about like the Legends mode is a free update. This was also a free update. The Last of Us Part 2's chronological mode.
Now, this is only for the remastered version. This is not.
Correct.
You have to have the remastered version to get this. So I don't have it,
Correct.
so I can't. I haven't tried it. I can't download it.
Yes.
I'd have to get the remastered version.
Yes.
But yes,
Yes.
this was announced a couple of days ago.
So last night I started it.
You have the remastered version?
Well, if you have the PS4 version, it's only €10 to upgrade to the remaster.
Oh, so I could
So
upgrade.
if you
Okay.
upgrade to the remaster, obviously you get the better graphic version. You get the extra little modes that they had, including the no return roguelike thing, if that's what you're into. But the chronological mode is just there, ready to go once you have the remaster. So I was like, do you know what? For €10, that's an update I'm interested in. In kind of if I can be honest. Not in a way where I think, oh, this is going to fix any problems that I had, or that I think that it's even going to be the better way to play. It's probably not. For some sections, it might feel better, and I'm really curious about when I get into the meat of it, whether
Mm.
the Ellie and Abby stuff will feel better when it's more side by side and not just one big chunk and one big chunk. So I'm really curious if I'm more into the game that way. I want to see how that works. Um, but I don't think this is necessarily going to be the definitive way to play. But in that kind of release the Snyder cut, kind of a way of like, let's watch it. Like, okay, I was really excited by that movie and I enjoyed it, but it was also really fascinating to watch as a comparative study. Like when
Mm.
you re-edit, and obviously there's a huge difference between the two movies,
Yes.
the theatrical release and Snyder Cut. But there's also a lot of stuff that is the same.
Mm.
A lot. Like a lot more than I think when I initially watched it, I realized. I was kind of like, whoa, I'm surprised that was Snyder, and I'm surprised that was Snyder, and I'm surprised that was Snyder. But yet, the way it's restructured, the different music that's used, like that kind of, start doing that comparative study and like the importance of what the edit can do for a project,
Mm.
I think is a fascinating watch. So whether you like either version of Justice League, I think they're both worth watching for just that comparative
Well, yeah.
piece,
If
right?
you're if I think if you're a cinephile, if you're not really a moviegoer, don't bother watch any of them.
I think if you're a psychopath,
I said
I think you should
cinephile.
watch them. I know. I just the moment I heard it for some reason, it was like, whether you're a cinephile or a psychopath, you should definitely watch these movies. um, it's funny because other people will probably say, as a cinephile, I fucking hate superhero movies or something.
Yeah, but I meant from a
But I know what you mean.
for a comparative. Like the
Yes, yeah,
cinephiles are big into studying their movies, so just as a comparative
yes,
study. Yeah, yeah,
definitely.
yeah. So okay, so you've started it.
So in that context,
Mm.
that's where I was interested in this. Is like so we watched The Last of Us season 2. We have our
I'm going to be a daddy.
review on it out there.
Dad, even.
Yes, yeah, that's what Ellie says. So we have a review. You can check
Or
that out. But during our review of that, we actually said, you know what? Part of it made me kind of want to replay The Last of Us Part 2,
yes,
right?
true. Yeah.
So I had those moments where I was like, yeah, there's parts of this that I want to replay. At one point, I was going to replay it, and I thought, oh, there's a lot I have to get through though before I get to any of the good shit. You know what I mean? Like the shit that I really like. It's like, do I really want to
Right.
trudge through that? And then here comes this chronological mode. I'm like, oh, this is going to shake things up and make a replay of this game interesting, because I
Mm.
can't remember the exact, because things flash back all over the place. I actually can't remember in what order they would be if chronological. So now
Mm.
I have to say I've only played maybe an hour and a half.
Right. So
So I'm
you
not that
have
far.
not gone to the the point of no return then, I suppose, in the story.
No, I
Yeah,
haven't.
you're still on the flashbacks. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've been to the museum though.
Hey,
You know
the
what I
best
mean?
part of the game.
I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, this is great. To get here so early, and the way the restructuring was so interesting because that cutscene comes after. Now in this version, spoilers by the way for The Last of Us Part 2, guys. But they do say you shouldn't really play chronological mode unless you've played the other mode.
Hmm.
No, I'm not going to go spoil everything, but I'm just going to talk about it as if you've played it. But yeah, I forgot that the museum flashback starts with Ellie trying to play Future Days on guitar, right?
Right.
And in this restructuring, just before that is the scene where Joel comes in and plays Future Days for her.
Right. Okay.
And
Right.
now, so the very next scene is now her trying to learn it. And it just felt really natural. Whereas in the game, I'd forgotten all about any connection like that because it had been so long since we'd even seen Joel. Um,
Mhm.
so it's really interesting. Like at the bit I'm on now, I'm Abby because it's Abby and Owen. Like it's
Hmm.
jumping between. So it's kind of weird because it's like the section I'm playing now kind of feels like game number 2, and that's going to end with Joel's death, and then maybe game 3 is going to start, which is the actual bulk of the game, which is the Ellie and Abby stuff.
Yeah, because I have heard people play it where they're like, I don't know if they were saying that they preferred it, but they were saying that it definitely makes you understand Abby more.
Right.
Because I think it's the 3 hour mark is when, again, we are talking spoilers, is when Abby kills Joel with the golf club.
Hmm.
Um, so I think, yeah, there was some people that said like they've played about 3 hours, maybe a little more than 3 hours, but like that's the thing is that you now understand her motivation. It's
Yeah.
not just this random person that pops out of nowhere that gets Joel off. You actually have 3 hours, well, I suppose an hour and a half with Joel. And you get
Yes.
to see why Ellie doesn't want to be with Joel.
Yeah,
And
because
you get
you'll
this,
see that relationship break down first,
yes, and then
which
you
has
will
made me
also,
remember that I think my first encounter with an infected will probably be a bloater.
oh yeah, probably,
Now in this version,
probably,
which
yeah.
which is like going to be exciting because it doesn't pull you in out of the wall. So can you imagine if that was your first ever encounter in The Last of Us Part 2?
That would be pretty
Like, it
cool.
does change the experience, like.
Yeah, and then you're going to see that Ellie wants to make up with Joel again, and then that's
And
snatched
then
away.
he's going to
So
die.
yeah, so I do wonder, is that gonna
Is it going to impact more? That's
is
what
it gonna
I'm really curious about as well.
yeah
I think this is a really fascinating way to re-experience a game or to have a second playthrough. I think it's interesting that they gave it as a free update because it would
mm,
have taken, you know,
a long time
it would have
to
taken a certain amount of work to restructure it this way.
yes.
But I am like really curious whether it'll land better. So I'm gonna keep playing.
Mm.
And this is like a really good reason to want to replay The Last of Us Part 2, which is a game that I really enjoyed at the time and have lots of mixed reviews and thoughts on and things like that. But thought it was a very immersive experience. But I don't know if I ever would have found the time to replay it rather than play the many other games that are out there.
Yeah,
But to
yeah.
see it this way has made me now go, okay, I'm curious. Like, will I like it better this way? I'm not saying I will. I'm not
No,
saying
no,
necessarily it's going to be the better
I'm
way, but
curious.
some stuff might be better.
I am curious with it as well for sure, especially seeing videos and now the fact that you've played it, you can let me know what it's like. I do know there was one thing that someone said. Again, you've played the game, so it's not going to be too much of a spoiler.
Yeah.
Just kind of slight spoiler on, I suppose, structure,
Yes.
but it's something small anyway. So where someone said that, when Maria comes in with the letter from Tommy to say that Tommy can't forgive them and he's going to go after the Joel's
Oh,
killers.
yes, when he's gone
So,
first.
so it's Ellie and then Dina are going to go
Yeah.
because Maria is essentially telling them, go get Tommy. Apparently, straight after that moment is Abby day one.
Interesting.
And I'm like,
Because
you
I'm
know
not there
what?
yet. So, yeah, okay.
That's kind of better because it will distract you from the fact that Ellie and Dina and Tommy, I suppose, have traveled across plague-infected America from Wyoming all the way up to
Yes.
Washington. It
It'll
will
give a
distract you from
little bit
that.
of, yeah, it'll give a little
Yeah.
bit of time between that. I'm also really excited because I will get to Lev quicker.
True, and Lev's awesome.
And you'll be having those moments where Abby's with Lev, Ellie's with Dina, and now they're mirroring each other, but not like in one big chunk. And then, oh, I've actually forgotten about them because I haven't seen them in fucking hours, and I've been with these
Mm,
people. Like, I'm just really curious if the main bulk of the game, I do think like what's not going to work is obviously all the big twists are going to happen at the start. Which was the stuff in the flashbacks. Like you're supposed to not know why Ellie's mad at Joel or what happened, and then it's supposed to come out later in the form of the flashback twist, which didn't really work for me anyway. But
no.
in this, like, I don't think necessarily this is how The Last of Us Part 2 should go, where it's just front loaded with a bunch of flashbacks that are all disconnected, right?
Mm.
However, I'm really curious if the Ellie Abby back and forth thing is going to be way better.
I'm thinking now, right? I actually think it's way better to start with the Abby in the hospital.
Yeah, well, like, yeah, the first thing, like, it's literally black screen, and you hear sound, and then it's just Abby running out into the forest, but you don't know who this girl is. Like,
Mm,
I'm looking at it now, imagine if this was the first time you ever played it.
yeah.
And she's running and she's looking for someone, and she finds her dad, and she's talking to him, but you don't know who these people are, and you find the zebra or whatever. And then Owen comes along, and you can see he's a firefly. So you're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, so he's a firefly. And then they're talking, and then someone says, hey, they've arrived. They need you, to the dad. And then the camera pans up, and you see the hospital.
Yeah.
And that would have been your moment to go, oh, shit, okay. These people are from that day or something.
Yeah.
And then the very next scene is, yes, her finding her dad dead in the hospital.
And I think that actually just would have been a really good,
Like, it's a strong start.
really strong start.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you
Yeah.
could have cut to Jesse opening the door and there's Ellie and they have to go for
Yeah,
her.
we're in Jackson. We're a few years later. Yeah.
Yeah. So then
But
you
we've
don't
set
want-
up the whole thing.
Yeah, I think that. Now, the only thing I do think with the chronological order that maybe might feel weird
Mm.
is the points when they go to sleep and then they kind of go, because they had their flashback moment, which in this then is
Yeah.
they go to sleep. And then maybe it depends on how it's done. They might go to sleep and then just like the next thing you see is them go, and like you're not going to have any context.
Unless they interrupt it by when they go asleep, they switch to the other character.
That's what I'm kind of thinking. That's
So
what I'm saying. Like,
and again, I don't
maybe.
know.
I don't know either.
I'm genuinely looking forward to seeing how it plays out. And I'll let you guys know. Obviously, hopefully in the next episode I'll have gotten a bit further and I'll be able to kind of give a better impression, because obviously the gameplay I've had so far has been quite limited, because those flashbacks are more character interaction and less like actual action and gameplay and that kind of stuff. But so I should have a better impression as to how chronological mode works and how it feels and all that in the next episode. But I think it's a really fascinating update that nobody asked for, but it's a more interesting update to me than, say, the roguelike mode. Do you know, this is a more interesting, and I'm curious, like, not that any game comes to mind, but like, would you like updates like this in the future for other games that restructure games to make you kind of replay the same game but in a different order?
Depends on the game.
Yeah, it depends on the game. Like, I don't want them to do it to everything, but I do think it's a fascinating update.
Well, I mean, I'm just a big fan of big free updates.
Yeah,
I don't really like when I see things where it's like a news article about like, oh, new big update for this game. It's like, oh, cool. What is it? They're gonna fix some bugs.
Right, and like they are important, but I know what you mean. Where it's like,
but something like
it doesn't sound as exciting. Yeah,
chronological mode or legends or you know what I mean. Even this, I think the siege mode for Space Marine 2 was free. Yeah, that shit where it's like, yes, there's bugs and they're all really nice, but that's the stuff that's gonna make players go back to games. Most of the gamers are casual.
Mm-hmm.
You have a bug fix, I might not even have noticed there was a bug to begin with. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes they're like, oh, we fixed certain bugs with like a quest. And it's like, I had no problem with that quest.
Yeah.
So like, it doesn't affect me. Like, but no, something like this, I think is super interesting. Especially for The Last of Us, but they're really trying to sell this Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah. Is there, out of curiosity, is there any other game that you think it would be cool to get a restructuring of the story? And I don't mean like go full into detail as to how you would restructure it, but is there any other game where you're like, I think it'd be kind of fun to restructure that story?
Well, Beyond Two Souls, I know actually got it. So this is not a new idea. Beyond Two Souls did have a very wacky back and forth story, and then they did do a chronological mode as well. I never played the chronological mode, but a game where they restructure the story. No, because there's not many games where the story is all over the place, I think.
The one that comes to my mind right now, and it's a game that I absolutely love, like it's one of my favorite games, but I also, every time I go to restart it, I do also have a moment where I go, I have to play an awful lot before I get to the bit I really like, right? And it's another Naughty Dog game. It's Uncharted 4. And I'm like, what if Naughty Dog were to go back to like a mode for that where they interject, you know, all the start is a bunch of flashbacks leading up to, and then the story starts. You know what I mean? You have to go through the prison thing, and you have to do the bit as the kids and all that stuff. Like, what if they broke that up where at moments in the game there's a flashback to those levels, and you could get into the action a bit quicker?
Better yet, what if there was a mode that took those out?
Well, they are important for the story, but
that's why an interesting. That's why you say, don't play this mode first.
Yes,
there is genuinely story.
But then they would
just
say, just do chapter select then.
Yeah, but
you know, I'm just trying to think of like, is there any games where the restructuring would be fun?
Yeah, that's not a bad one, because I remember. No, because that means there's more bits where I have to play points I don't want to play. Cause, like, trying to play Uncharted 4 is kind of a pain in the arse when you have to do those flashback bits. You're like, I have to play these children again. I just want to.
But if it was broken up, is what I mean, where it's like it's not all in one big chunk. You know what I mean? I think
you only play about 5. You play 5 seconds of it, and then you play more of the actual game, and then 5 seconds later.
So no is your answer anyway.
But for me, as in, do I have any?
Yeah.
No, not that I can. Really, not that I can think of, because most stories don't. You know, most games, when there's like a point where I'm like, oh, I have to play this bit. It's more like a, fuck, I need to, you know, hold Emma Emmerich by the hand and.
Right, maybe an update that removes all that altogether.
Yeah, it just makes it a cutscene.
Adam would love if there was a new update to Resident Evil 4 where Ashley Graham isn't in it. She really annoyed him.
She's actually. I don't think
I
she's
thought
that
she was.
bad.
I thought she was all right in the remake.
In the remake, I actually thought, yeah, she's
In
not
the
that bad.
original, she's way more annoying.
But I think in the original, you have her more.
Yes, and she's way more annoying because it's not as fluid anyway. You know what I mean? Like you're more
Yeah.
stagnant. She doesn't run as much, and her voice is so fucking annoying.
Poor actor. Poor actor.
Yeah, I'm not blaming the actor, by the way. I'm just, but it is like you're just like every time you're like, Leon, help! You're just like, oh God, I want you to go. I'm actually less stressed when you're not here. Uh, that shouldn't be the experience. But yeah. So anyway, let us know, guys, if you could think of any other game that you think you'd love a restructuring mode for free, not to replace the game that exists, but more for that kind of a. Wouldn't it be fun to re-experience the game in a new way? And if you're playing the chronological mode to The Last of Us Part 2, like, what do you think of it? Maybe you prefer it. Maybe you hate it. I don't know. Like, maybe you think it ruins the story altogether. Like, with the amount of awards that The Last of Us Part 2 won, it's not like everyone hates the story or anything like that. Like, it won over 300 Game of the Year awards and stuff. So,
Yeah, but it's not Game of the Year for 300 years.
no, it's not. That's the difference. That is the difference.
That's the difference.
But on the topic of The Last of Us and Naughty Dog, so Neil Druckmann and Hallie Cross have both stepped away from The Last of Us TV show. A lot of people reported on that to kind of say, "Oh, that's it. The show's fucked, and this is a sign of that." And I'm like,
yes. There's no Last of Us 3 and stuff.
I think it's just that Neil Druckmann is too busy working on the new game that they're doing. And also, if The Last of Us is ever to do more shows in the future, he's going to have to make The Last of Us Part 3.
Yes.
So, I don't think it's a, oh, the show is fucked, actually. I think the show will continue just fine as it is. It'll probably lose interest anyway because people will realize that the best source material is the first game and the rest of the source material is not as strong.
Yeah. It would be really interesting to see what are people's reactions to Abby.
Yeah.
Because that was obviously the big fear, because there was a lot of people after Last of Us Part 2 who were behaving very, very badly towards Laura Bailey when the game was released. So naturally when Caitlin Dever got the role, that's obviously the first thing I'm thinking of. Fuck, she's gonna get burned. She's gonna get crucified and burned. I think Neil Druckmann and a couple other people prepared her for it.
Yeah, they gave her the good warnings, I think.
And yet, with this season, no, she's not the one that people had a problem with.
Yes, and I think the break between is going to help because so in the game, she killed Joel, we hated her, and then we got to a point where they made us play as her, and
for a very long time,
and we were conflicted and mad and all these kinds of things. I'm not saying we as in me. I'm just speaking about like the gaming community and the people who were mad. But in this instance, she's just in one season, she's just the bad guy. We don't have her perspective yet. Now there's a break. People have probably gone on to either play the game or look up what happens. They'll have that moment of going, oh, what the fuck? But they've now come to terms with it. So I think when season 3 comes along, for a certain community, they'll already be aware of what's to come. And now they'll just be like, oh, actually, she's not doing a bad job. She's pretty good.
Well,
I think Caitlin Dever is going to be fucking awesome in season 3.
A lot of people were very happy with her performance. She did a very good job. Very interesting. But no. It's just because Neil Druckmann and Haley Gross or Gross.
I thought it was Cross. Now I'm not sure. Look it up.
All right. Hold on. Look it up again. All right. We're doing another one.
I need to get it correct.
Haley. Oh, wait. Get rid of the first.
And sorry, was it Neil Druckmann or Neil Cookman? What was it again?
I think it's Cookman. No, it's Druckmann.
It was a terrible nickname that ever gave him. Neil Cookman.
Hallie Gross, Gross, Hallie
Gross,
Halley Gross.
Right.
So Hallie Gross.
Yeah, so the two of them are no longer working on the show, but they are working at Naughty Dog, so they're working on the next stuff.
For Intergalactic. So no, it's not the end of it. I don't think so. The only thing that will determine truly the end of it, because again, they were like consultants, if anything, like they were executive writers and executive producers. They weren't.
I think Neil was very heavily involved, but I think he's realized that he just can't be now. But yeah,
no, but heavily involved as a consultant because the stuff that he directed and
Yes.
helped write and everything with Hallie Gross and everything, were the episodes that were very close to the game.
Hmm.
But he didn't do everything. He didn't work on all the episodes and everything like that. So he would
Yes.
have
Yeah.
been more of a consultant to be like, well, this is what's happened. This is the character act, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, he could just walk away because again, they have the game.
They have the blueprint. Craig Mazin is obviously a fan because if you listen to any of the interviews
Hmm.
or anything like that, often whenever there was an argument about whether something should be changed or stay the same, apparently Neil Druckmann was often the one saying I think we should change it, and Craig Mazin was the one saying no, I think we should do it exactly like the game. So
Well,
I think he's a fan, like So I
yeah.
think it's going to largely stay pretty much the same tonally and faithfully, and in terms of how faithful it has been so far.
Hmm.
The question will just be is like, do people like the content that comes anyway? And then when they finish and they get through all of The Last of Us Part 2, then what happens? Like,
Yes.
do they wait for a long time for The Last of Us Part 3 to come out? Do they do some sort of HBO side project, which is probably very likely, where it's about side characters? And I could see that happening. But we will see.
Yeah, they'd be like Fear the Last of Us and
And City of The Last of Us.
City of the Last of Us. Yeah, what was all the how many fucking Walking Dead spin-offs was there?
Well, this is interesting, and that was such a popular show,
That was
such a
very
popular
popular.
show. But yeah, so let's know everyone what you think of just The Last of Us in general, like the show, the game. Well, what do you think about the chronological mode? How into these kind of free modes are you, and do you want more of them? Speaking of free modes, Astrobot, another PlayStation game, had a free mode. I have to talk about it. Come on, they put in new bots. They finally put in Cloud Strife and Sephiroth as bots in the Astrobot world. That's fucking awesome. I think when everyone played Astrobot and they collected all the characters, it was very clear that there was a neglect for Final Fantasy
Hmm.
as a game that is very close to PlayStation's history, if you look at the PS1 era in particular. So, really cool to see the two of them in there. I hope there's going to be more. I think there should be. What would be really awesome is a Final Fantasy themed level
Hmm.
with Astro Bot remixed Final Fantasy music. That would be fucking deadly. But even like I think finding Vivi as a little Astro Bot would be brilliant.
Oh, it
Like,
would be perfect. It would just be definitely like it wouldn't look any different as an Astrobot, to be honest.
yeah,
With
it'd be
as-
perfect. Speaking of Vivi, lads, come on, just do it already. So last week we had the 25th anniversary of Final Fantasy IX. Congratulations, Final Fantasy IX, 25 years, awesome. There was a little trailer put out. There was like a little 25th anniversary video was put out. There was a calendar. There was artwork. There was like merch on the website or whatever. But everyone was really just like, yeah, but like announced the remake though. Yeah, like even Domino's Pizza shared just announced the remake already. Okay. We all know it exists in some way, shape, or form. Give me my prediction and announce it this year. That would have been the
Yeah.
perfect time, though. Like for the 25th anniversary.
Oh yeah, for sure. That would have made absolute sense. It's going to come out some random fucking
So,
time.
yeah, the
That
rumor
would make
is
no
that
sense.
it's in trouble. Actually, some leaker or insider has said that they heard it might get cancelled. Which I was like, no way, that's not gonna happen. But then when nothing happened on the 25th anniversary, I was a bit like, okay, maybe because if you were very confident, surely you would announce it then.
Hmm.
So maybe there is an issue. I don't know. Or maybe they're contractually obliged to share it somewhere else, like at the Game Awards later, or at a State of Play for a PlayStation exclusive, or a Nintendo Direct if it's coming to the Switch too. Like I don't know. Maybe there is some agreement made. But the other interesting thing about that day was, do you remember the Final Fantasy IX Memorandia or something like that? I think it's called, where it's like a fan made project. These guys, they made a video, they put it on YouTube. They're game developers, and they kind of made a what Final Fantasy IX would look like if they remade it. And it had this
Oh yeah, yeah,
amazing
yeah.
art style, and it was just sort of the opening of the game, like it was Vivi going around the town and just showing off the graphics and stuff. But it wasn't like it was a demo, but it wasn't a playable demo. There's no
Hmm.
playable version of it, and it was done as sort of a concept thing. Well, they shared on their Twitter on the 25th anniversary. I might get the phrasing wrong now, but it was something like they tagged Square Enix. They said, "When are we telling them, Square Enix?" And everyone went, "What do you mean? Telling us what?" And then they wouldn't answer people. But they kept all that day. They kept like putting out little messages or replying to people with little things like someone else would somewhere else say, when are we getting news of a remake? And they might comment something with like two eyes, like the little like ooh, suspicious eyes thing. So everyone's like, are you just trolling us? Is this another Abandoned where you're building up hype for something that's not real? Or did they, after the video got so impressed, like did Square Enix ask you to make a full remake?
Maybe.
We don't know.
Sorry, but like throughout this, I've just had memes going through my head. So when you said the whole like, what do you mean? I just imagine. You ever see that video of Jennifer Lawrence when she's like
Oh
eating
yeah.
chicken wings? She's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Or the perfect. I'm just picturing home. Like, it's perfect. It's
Yes.
perfect. Down to the last minute detail.
Yes.
Um, that'd be cool though. Final 7-9 remake would be cool.
Final
I
Fantasy
hope.
9 remake. What'd you say? Final Fantasy 7 9? Is that what you said?
No, I just said that would be cool. A Final Fantasy 9 remake.
Sorry, I heard you wrong. Maybe I just always hear Final Fantasy 7, no
You
matter what
do,
people say.
yeah.
People are like, what would you like for dinner? We have pizza or we have wedges. You Final Fantasy 7? What? Just always.
Uh,
I'm going to actually look up yeah, so it's actually, sorry, it was called Memoria Project, a Final Fantasy 9 tribute. Okay, so they have a big Twitter page or whatever. There's cool little. You can look at their original video that they put out. Is like so good, really,
because
really
it
good
looks,
shit. Right?
it does look. You look at it, you go, look, that is Final Fantasy 9, but it definitely at a much like higher quality. But it's
Yeah.
like that's exactly how it should look.
So yeah, you don't want a more lifelike art style to Final
No, it
Fantasy
wouldn't work
9.
for that style game.
You want it to be almost like Studio Ghibli or something like that, nearly, or
Yeah, well,
Zelda-ish.
yeah, it's the
And
same thing
stuff.
as like hearing about a Zelda live action. Now that you mentioned Zelda,
Yeah,
it's like no. You shouldn't be doing live action. You should be doing like animation, like a Pixar animation or Kena Bridge of Spirits, and like Final Fantasy 9 is the same. That animation style is suits it best. So what are they saying, Chris? What are they saying to us, man? What are they doing? What are they doing
okay.
to us, man? Why do you
So
do? Why do we say that?
here's what they said. So sorry, they reshared Final Fantasy's post. So Final Fantasy's post on the 25th anniversary of Final Fantasy 9 was celebrating 25 years of Final Fantasy 9 today. And then they shared a little video that was like, it's only a minute and something long that you could watch that was like a tribute to the original game, right? So this crowd, Final Fantasy 9 Memoria Project, they reshared the official Final Fantasy tweet, but then they wrote at the top, when are we going to tell them at Square Enix? What does that mean? And then all of the comments were just like people being like, hold up, excuse me, what? And then someone else saying, please don't do this, y'all. I'm almost 40. My heart can't take this level of stress. Like, just people be like, this is killing me. Like, what does this mean? And like, so this person said, don't give us hope like this. It's cruel. So it's very interesting, but they have not. They left it at that. They didn't actually come back and say anything else. I do see they did comment on a couple of people. So some person tweeted, by the way, I didn't see who the voice actor for the mysterious wanderer was in the credits of their sort of original video, right? And they said, I don't know, maybe the conspiracy theorist in me, but it sure sounds a lot like it could be at Ben Starr. And the Final Fantasy IX Memoria Project messaged back with the little shrug emoji. But they didn't answer everyone back. So that's, like they're doing the little teasy thing. You know what I mean? And it's
Oh,
like,
the big fucking teasers. Oh, the big bash.
yeah, like it's like, okay, if you did get Ben Starr for that, and he is very clearly embedded within Final Fantasy now, at
Yes.
16 and tactics and stuff like that. So, yeah, there is a big question mark as to whether Final Fantasy IX Remake is still real, and is it in fact happening? I obviously had it as a prediction for this year. I really want it to happen. I think it'd be very exciting. Eric, do you think it's possible, or do you think people need to give up on this? The fact that they didn't say anything at the 25th anniversary probably means it's not real.
Yeah, this is not the first time though that there was like an anniversary for something, and I was like, oh, clearly they're going to announce something, and then they just didn't. Like I think Final Fantasy VII's anniversary, we were expecting an announcement, and they're like, I don't think there was anything. There was just
Right.
yeah, it's the anniversary. So yeah, they do that. They
Okay.
and other game companies do that too, where it's like, oh, it's the anniversary to a game, so obviously big announcement. They're like, nope, just the birthday cake. Well, that's stupid.
Yeah. Do you in any way buy into the like? Yes, there probably is a remake
Well,
out
now
there.
the fact that the other people are like,
Teasing
fucking,
it.
what are you doing, man? What are you fucking doing that?
This better not end up like Abandoned. They really blue
I
balled us.
don't think it'll be like Blue Balls Studios and they're abandoned.
No, because these guys actually did show something, and it was of high quality. Whereas Blue Boss, Blue
That's
Boss, that's not their actual name, but
no.
Blue Boss Studio said they have a playable demo coming out this, and there was a countdown, and everyone was ready for it. And then the video was just someone's feet walking past, and then they went radio silent, and no one's heard from them since.
Oh, and even Jeff Keighley was talking him up and everything.
That was just crazy. I don't know how the fuck Blue Ball Studios got everyone involved. Well,
You were so engrossed in that.
I
It was
was because I was like,
hilarious.
but that's why I'm a little bit hesitant here, right? I'm not
Right.
saying that the Memorial Project is in any way like um, Blue Balls, but but they had so many people, including the PlayStation official blogs, talking about them that I was like, well, surely everyone's done their background research and made sure this is a real thing before they're promoting it on their multinational, you know what I mean? Like huge platforms, like, and for it to end the way it did was like, this should have definitely been checked more before it was in any way marketed and put on the PS5 as an app.
Yeah, I really think
Crazy.
I think the audience deserved answers.
I would love, I'll be disappointed if one day this podcast comes to an end, say, and we never got an answer to the abandoned question, you know? But I'm also half prepared to take it to my deathbed. I think that's
That's
one where we will be blue balled forever.
yeah, that's another studio name that's hilariously mean, but also like, yeah.
Like,
Feels
what
like
the fuck happened?
Blue Ball Studio, Neil Cuckman.
Yeah,
Was there another one we mentioned as well?
yeah. I don't know. But
Yeah.
anyway, I think for now we should wrap it up. I really do hope that I get that Final Fantasy IX prediction right. Come on.
What exactly is the prediction? It's for
That it
this
will
year,
be
is it?
announced this year.
All right, I hope it gets
That's all I
announced
said.
on the 1st of January, 2027.
I'm so
2026.
mad I'll pull my eyes out. But we'd love to hear from you guys. If if you're watching YouTube, make sure you jump down in the comments to share your thoughts. Do you think there's a Final Fantasy IX remake in the works? Are you excited for it? Do let us know. If you're playing the Last of Us Part 2 chronological mode, how are you finding it? And most importantly, our main topic this week, how excited are you for Ghost of Yotei and what do you want to see from the next Ghost game? So do let us know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, ring the notification bell for future content, which comes out every single week. And to those of us on audio platforms, you can touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and X at The Brothers Take. Again, to give your take on everything we brought up in this week's episode. Thank you so much for checking us out. We will be back to talk to you guys next time. Bye bye.
Bye.